Good afternoon, everybody. I have been told today I have to turn water into wine for a couple of you. So the monkey has been told to dance. My job today is to dance for you. I am the monkey, and I will hopefully teach you some things here that you didn't know about markets before you started. Show you some things that you might have never thought about before. And for some of you, change the way you trade forever and put you on a path of profitability moving forward that is less stressful, um, more peaceful, and gives you more time to live your day instead of sitting in front of a computer. Rajesh, you have doubts. Unless I feel the holes in his hands and feet, I will not believe. Rajesh, last week we had a customer named Colin who's been using the software for over a decade. And I ask him to fill in every once in a while for me because if I have to do 55 straight webinars a year, I may go crazy. And for the benefit of my family, customers, and close friends, I ask an occasional customer to come in and show some things. Colin is an acquired taste. He is an esteemed trader and a good friend and customer. And so I like to expose people to different perspectives, how profitable customers are using the software. Today, though, in the infamous words of Huey Lewis in the News, the great musician who wrote or co-wrote many of the songs to the soundtrack of our namesake's movie, I am happy to be stuck with you. And Thomas, you are stuck with me. Why are we here? We are here because there is no company in the world, no person in the world who knows as much as I do about predictive timing signals in the market. No one, dead or alive. Don't tell me about this guy or that guy or this person who's been dead 200 years. No one knows more than I do about predictive timing signals. It is my singular solo pursuit for the last 15 plus years. I have trained thousands of people who go on to make money with the programs and methods that we supply. No one should believe a word of what I just said. Earl says, "We're not worthy. We're not worthy." I truly, honestly believe that. No, not from a narcissistic perspective or a psychopathic leaning. I believe it because it's true. And until I see otherwise, I will acquiesce the title immediately. But today, I want to show you why I believe that. Because to get your trust, Rajesh, I have to give you the times and directions that a market will move in advance. I have to give you the trading rules in advance. If my magic trick is going to meet or exceed your expectations, I'm not only going to tell you that the lion or the elephant is going to disappear, I'm going to tell you where it's going and when it's going to disappear. So when the trick happens, you'll know. You'll know that I knew what I was talking about. So we are here 2 days later after what happened. Well, if you went to the website and you decided you were going to sneak and poke around, you got an email from me in the middle of the night saying, "Hey, welcome," or you got a phone call from Dave saying, "What are you doing?" You had access to this web page right here. Now, if you're not familiar with it, I'll put a link in the chat box right here. And this is what we're looking at. And the wonderful thing about this is that the software in particular, our flagship customer acclaimed program, TachEon Warp, is able to output when markets are expected to go up and down in the future. Now, before you say that's bananas, what I want you to think about is this. The people who run the markets, the corporations, the investment banks like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Goldman, they are continually getting fined for manipulating markets. In fact, several JP Morgan traders went to jail for manipulating gold futures this month. They just paid a $1 billion fine. But guess what? They made $3 billion in profits while they were cheating. They understand something that most traders overlook, and that is time-based movements are a real thing. They are a predictable thing. So imagine, for example, that the E-mini S&P went down every day at 10 o'clock for 30 minutes. Imagine, Jeffrey, that it did that for a week and a half. Rajesh, imagine it went down at 10 o'clock every day for a week and a half and then started to go back up at 10:30. You observed this, you saw it, you sat there. A week and a half in, you said, there's no way. Tawana, you said, it can't possibly happen again, and then it happened again. Rajesh, what would you do the following day at 10 o'clock? This is a serious question. It's not a thought exercise like most vendors like to postulate. They like to hypothesize and get you spun around. This one is worth executing, though. What would happen if you saw the ES drop at 10 o'clock Eastern every day for a week and a half? What would you be inclined to do the following day? What would you lay awake at night dreaming about doing at 9:59 the following morning? Be honest. Be honest. You would short the blankety blank blank out of the S&P with a small stop. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I right? Or am I right? Or am I right? So, yeah. So Dave, who's in here? Do I see? Yep. So Jeffrey, Tawana, what we do with the software is different. It's more subtle, right? It's kind of like how you tell your wife you want to go to Las Vegas with the guys for a weekend. You just don't come out and blurt it out and say, oh, I'm going to Vegas this weekend. You're like, it would be nice if your mom came out and visited. Why don't I do this? She shouldn't travel alone. Let me go out that way. She's in Nevada, right? Well, I know Bill's going out with some friends. Why don't I go out with Bill and bring your mom back here? That's subtle. And what our program does is it finds those subtle patterns where it may not be happening every day, but Jeffrey, it's sure happening a lot. All right, Rajesh, I'm going to cover that for you. Piece of cake. So today on the E-mini S&P, since Tuesday, we've known these were the times where banks have a tendency to push down. All of these times are the subtle times lately in the historical data that keep pushing the E-mini S&P down on a 3-minute chart. And consequently, conversely, all of these times, Tawanda, Jeffrey, are the times that the software has been telling us that institutions buy. Jeff, does that make sense conceptually? Mr. Fox? It's a heads up. It's an appointment. It's sort of knowing that the UPS truck comes to your house somewhere between 10:30 and 10:45. And if you're still standing on the curb at 11 o'clock, you need some friends. Aw, Jeff's on the corner. Jeff's on the corner. So let's take a look at some other forecasts, right? We can stop and take a look and see. I've queued up a couple of results for us. We'll put this down. Put this down. Put this down. And we'll take a look here. So Jeffrey, those times that I gave you, Rajesh, I'm going to ask you a question one time. Can you calm down? I want you to breathe in and breathe out with me. There are over 30 people here, and the last 8 questions came from you. You're in here every week. Don't be sorry. I want you to focus and concentrate on the most important things. This isn't a conversation, it's a lecture. If you have a hand-raising question, let's get to it. Let's do it. So far you want to know about the patterns. You want to know, how do we know if it's the banks? Can you talk about volume? What'd you have for lunch today? I want to be your best friend. I want to answer all those questions. I'm going to get to them all. I promise I will. Try to consolidate and focus that genius energy you've got. And we'll go through it here together. It has to be the banks, because the banks are continually fined for market manipulation. Did you get fined this morning? Anyone here get a fine from the SEC for pushing the markets illegally? Quick show of hands. Did anyone get a notice, an indictment of market manipulation? Anyone you know? Okay, it wasn't us. So Rajesh, is probably the banks. We don't know through volume, but they control the lion's share of the money, right? In fact, there's a wonderful quote. Let's see if it's still here. It was from someone named Regina Gwynn. She said, when the banks upgrade a stock, watch the institutional shares of that stock. And then Rajesh, she said, when a bank like Goldman downgrades a stock, watch who buys. And she shows historically that the banks will lie about the value of an instrument to manipulate perceptions of retail traders around the world. And not only that, they take the opposite side of their advice. We saw in the movie The Big Short with Michael Burry, who's short again. He's early in my opinion, but he's short again. That banks were shorting the MBS instruments they created as they were selling them to other banks and other people. And we had the 08-09 recession where they recorded record profits. They lost no money, and they made more money than they had ever made in the history of history. So Rajesh, I'm putting all of my chips on red that it's the banks manipulating the markets. Now, when we come and look at the times that I gave you for the week, did that answer your question so far? We're going to make it. I don't want you to feel bad. I feel bad that I might have made you feel bad. Did I make you feel bad? I admire your brain. Lots of stuff. Perfect. I'm incapable. Wonderful. However, these were the times for today. Jeffrey, Tawana, everybody else, Harry, welcome. And when we get to those times, I gave out a trading system. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. We'll be showing how the signals can be traded by using one of 2 simple entry rules called signal with trend or the puncture trade. And I even gave you the video talking about what that would be. So I want to refresh everyone's memory. The 15-year-old company with the 4.7 Trustpilot review rating gave whoever wanted them the times for the market movements of the largest futures market in the world 2 days in advance. I gave you the times up and down, and I gave you the rules for a simple trading system if you didn't have one. I told you what the stop would be. And now, Rajesh, here we are 2 days later, and I'm either going to look stupid. This is me, by the way, in the corner. I am not a handsome man. There are no Brad Pitt genes in this pool. But I'm either going to look silly or really smart in a few seconds. I'm betting on really smart. Here we go. All of the times on this chart are the times you've had since Tuesday. This is a 120 period exponential moving average. It is the average I've used for a long time. Since the beginning of webinars about 15 years ago. And we've always used it. It works. It's a general purpose workhorse. It is not magical. It is not proprietary. It is just something somebody told me about in my earliest days, and I kept it. I don't like changing settings ever. The settings I'm using for the default values of all of my charts are the same. They don't change week to week, so I impress you with my prowess. First question before I get into it. Lawanda, Jeffrey, Rajesh, what seemingly happened most of the time at the blue dot times, which are the blue line times, which I told you 2 days ago were probably going to be pushes down in the market? Let me repeat that. 2 days ago, I told you about the magic trick. And I said for Thursday, when we get to the 3-minute ES chart, the blue lines were supposed to be what? Come on, stay with me. Rajesh, kick it up a notch. You went from super excited to no answers. Ugh, I crushed your will. I didn't mean to do it. Yeah. So now here we are 2 days later. Watch. I have to show you this because your brain doesn't want you to believe it, because it's going to make you change the way you're doing things. And the human mind doesn't like change. We like the Chips Ahoy cookies with the recipe they've always had. Why do they mess with things that I love? I don't know why I brought that up. 803 down, 836 push down, 921 push down, 1003 push down, 1118, 1239, 218, and 3 o'clock. Where have we seen those times before? Did I change them, Jeff, when you weren't looking? Lawanda, did I do what the other vendors do? Little sleight of hand, go back and Photoshop it to make it look better? Deceive the masses? No. Now, what did I say we were going to do when we got to the sell times in a downtrend? Let's look at the video. Here it is. This guy in the video tells me what? Lawanda, when I get to the sell time, I'm going to sell. And I'm going to hold it until the next buy time. Let's check it out. Ready? So we'll look at all the signals, but I'm going to use one that's really easy to see at first. The close of the bar at 10:03 is 44.6375. I'm going to make the numbers bigger because this is one time in my life where size does matter. I can't see it. So instead of 11, we'll increase the font to a big number. Wow! There we go. So per the instructions I gave everyone, Rajesh, ready? I'm going to sell at the close of the 10:03 candle. My stop is 1.5 ATR values away from that candle. Why do we use the average true range? In the 80s, there was a market technician named Wells Wilder. Wells Wilder was a pretty good indicator maker. And he wanted to have a way to measure how big is a bar lately. So Rajesh, is a 3-minute bar on the ES at 10 o'clock 20 ticks top to bottom? Is it 200 ticks top to bottom? How big is a bar lately? And the average true range indicator was the most accurate measurement of that collective average lately. When the market is slow, the ATR is small. When the market is volatile, John, it's huge. So the bigger the potential for profit, the bigger the risk. And the ATR is like a pair of elastic sweatpants in our trading system on Thanksgiving. We walk into the living room, we're a size 34. We walk out of the dining room, we're a size 36. Right? I walk into the birthday party, I'm a size 1. I walk out of the birthday party, I'm a size 3 dress. What happened? Good thing there was elastic there. So that's the stop. And per the video I sent you, Lawanda, I'm going to hold the trade until historically the banks are known to do what? They're known to buy. So these times like 9:45 and 10:39, and these times like 12:03, what did the software warn us might happen if we came to them again? What did the software warn us might happen if we came to them again this Thursday? What were all these white lines warning us there was a behavior pattern for over and over and over again, like our UPS truck? What shows up at those times in the box, buyers or sellers? Come on, Jeffrey, you can do this. Lawanda, you know the answer. Buyers. So if we sold at a certain time, is it safe to hold the trade until we know when the buyers usually come back? When the JP Morgan computer fires up? All right, boys, let the orders flow. Yeah. So we're going to hold that trade until what? The buying times were expected. Now, in a downtrend, one of two things usually happens when the buyers come in. Let me see if I can find this here. I transferred all of my files over to a new computer this weekend. And finally, let's see if this one is it. We'll try it. Yeah, this is the one. So Lawanda, about 150 years ago, some dead guys figured out some stuff. Here's what they figured out. When the trend starts to fall apart and go down, there are two things that can happen when the buyers come in. Number one, Jeffrey, there's a mild retracement and then the market goes down again. This is a diagram from a gentleman named Richard Wyckoff back in the early 1900s. But then Tawana, they have a signal where there's a point in every downtrend where Tawana, the market goes into a redistribution phase. So this is a 150 plus year old pattern, right? And what happens in a redistribution phase is that, number one, the people who were selling are taking some profit. So Tawana, all along in here, the people who were short up here are covering their shorts at the bottom of this little range. Does that make sense? And then Jeffrey, at the top of the range, there are new sellers coming on board. So this is a train station stop. This is a hub. You take off in JFK in New York City, you land in Chicago, and then you keep going to Los Angeles. People get off in Chicago, they get on in Chicago. Does that make sense, guys? Well, when we look at those signals on our ES chart, can you kind of see that happening here, guys? Tawana, can you see the Chicago O'Hare pattern right there? What's happening? People are taking profit at the bottom. And then, Jeff, they're selling at the top. Now, what happens eventually? The plane's got to keep going at some point, right, Jeffrey? Yeah. So at that point, I'm going to teach you the second trade. We'll add up these guys first. Ready? So I'm short from 903 to 809, and I lose $2. Gone. I'm short from 836 until 845. I lose a quarter. I'm short from 921 until 945. And now, Tawana, I made $13.75 theoretically. These are signals with trend. Blue selling times under the blue moving average. You like red and green, these would be red and red. At 10:03, I enter at the low, or the close rather, of the candle. And now I exit by 10:39. The last signal before lunchtime, ladies and gentlemen, I short at 11:18. There's the UPS truck, Jeff. He drops off the package and he leaves right on time. There's $11.50. Everybody good so far? Now, the second setup is called a puncture. And what a puncture does is this. It says, hey, at some point, this is going to stop and keep going. It can't happen forever. We can't be in a box forever. And what it watches for, Tawana, what it looks for is it's looking for us to break this stop level. When do we go below the stop of the buying signal? You'll see in this case that the stop held at 945. Some people will even buy. They'll take a low risk counter trade long at those times. I'll show you a neat trick here today. If you're a customer, this will be a nice little trick for you. We've been using it in my live trading room. But it didn't hit the stop Tawana here, and it didn't hit it here, right? That was a big retracement. But here, looks like a game of Frogger. Waka, 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 waka. Boing, boing, boing. As soon as it goes through this level right here, Tawana, I have, wrong one. I have a sell right under that line. I'm waiting for it to puncture through that level right there. Because when it does, it means the people who were driving the trend down are back. They're back. They're done taking profit. It's hammer time. Dun, 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 dum, 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 dum. When they punch through that line, I put my stop 2 ticks above the candle that drove down through that line. So the train is starting, and I grab the caboose by the railing, and Tawana, it pulls me through to the next station. I'm short at 44.24 quarter, and I exit by the end of the time cycle, per the video and the instructions I gave you 2 days ago. 2.5 points. Woohoo! Okay, everybody with me so far? There are two types of signals that we can trade. We can trade punctures, right? We can also trade signals with trend. When you get to a counter trend signal, I'm probably going to add this in the rules so I can't fake it each week. Can't fly by the seat of my pants. Put a stop below the counter trend signal 2 ticks. 1, 2. And put a stop below the counter trend signal 2 ticks. Below the counter trend signal 2 ticks. Below the counter trend signal 2 ticks. This is for you counter trend junkies who can't stand it. I get tons of people coming up to me, why don't we buy at the buy dots? Because it's a trend system. Hey, Devin, hang tight 1 second. So, Tawana, Jeffrey, Rajesh, you can buy at the close of this signal and the close of this signal and the close of this signal and hold it till the next buy signal. So if we did that, we would have a loss here, -4. We would have a loss here, -2. We would have a gain here of +10. We would have a loss here of -4. And then we would have a gain here of +9. If you want to take a very low risk trade in the other direction, to add here, I call these trades Hail Marys. If you're a sports fan, you know what a Hail Mary is. We got nothing to lose. It's 4th down, there's 10 seconds on the clock. Give Tom Brady the ball. He's going to throw a 90-yard pass to some guy who runs faster than anyone you've ever met. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 executions. 2 of them are $11 and $10. The other 3 are -2, -4, -1/4. Okay. Daryl, what are binary options dependent on? Price action or time? Are binary options dependent on stops and targets and price action, or are they dependent on time? Will the market be higher in a minute, higher in 5 minutes, higher in an hour? What is the operating underpinning of that whole marketplace? Price action or time? It's not a trick question. Time. What signals are on my chart? Price action signals or time? Instead of buying and selling in the futures market, could you have bought an option saying, I believe the market will be lower by 1203 starting at 1118? Could you do that instead of buying or selling? I believe the market will be lower after 1003. I believe the market will be lower after 921. What do you think? You're coming to the horrifying conclusion that there's no other tool that analyzes time and no better tool equipped to use when trading with binary options. It's okay. You were going to get there eventually. Now, it didn't just happen on the ES. It happened on the NQ. I did this while we were practicing. I did this while the webinar was loading. Oh, hey, Daryl. Sorry, Devin. Can you guys see where I went short over here at 352 when the webinar started? It's a sim trade. I have to show sim trades during the webinars. That's $1,100. So, Tawana, look. Ready? We'll do the same thing. This morning, if you followed the signals, plus 125, plus 70, plus, I can't even read, plus 33, plus 13, plus 53, plus 9, plus 5, and plus 9. There was one $15 loss and one $22 loss by lunchtime. So watch. From the open until lunch, a signal with trend from 9:25 until 9:43. Jeff, can you see where the market went into the Chicago O'Hare Airport mode right here? Selling at the top, buying at the bottom. It's probably closer to this. No puncture. 10:02. Signal with trend. I had a guy who's been watching and looking for signals. Guy named Kevin. Kevin, are you here today? Because I'm going to publicly shame you. Here are the signals. If you're here, $2,000, $1,400, $600, $200, $1,000, $180, $100, $200, minus $300, minus $400 in the morning, using a system that I gave you 2 days ago and the times that I gave you 2 days ago. There's a guy named Kevin. He's been fighting me all week. He yelled at me because he used the Thursday times on Wednesday. And then I showed him Wednesday's signals on the NQ. And even now, he's still arguing with me. I can't save everybody. I can save some of you. So Tawana, here's the 1 minute signals for the NQ, the hardest market to trade. I tell people I trade the 1 minute NQ, they lose their minds. How? I know when the times are coming. So there's over $2,000-$3,000 in signals here. If you were trying to pass an Apex evaluation, man, you'd have been really close by the end of today from the open to lunchtime. Someone at Apex would have said, sir, come over here. I think Tawana's an insider trader. She's got all the right trades. She's crushing it, sir. Jeffrey's in the top 2% of everyone we've ever analyzed. And then in the afternoon, look, down from 2 o'clock until 2:49. That's an $800 move. 301. It's the top of the pullback. Not 3 o'clock, not 301 plus 1 minute. This candle right here, 2 days later, is the top of the pullback, just like the 222 signal was. And we knew when to get out. When? Right here. $27 move. Oh, 325. We can't trade near the close. That's insanity. Stop him, somebody. Short until 346. That's nearly $1,000 per contract, $100 per micro. Yeah. Now the people at Apex funding division are really freaking out. What does Jeffrey know that we don't know? What does Rajesh know that we don't know? How is Tawana getting in these big trades? And then where I drew this line, I'm setting up my risk disclosure and my PowerPoint, and I said, let me throw a sim on here. It can keep going, right? And so if you got in at the close and you got out, 404 was the bottom. It's another $1,000 move, or $100 per micro lot. Huh. We had a puncture right here. It falls through. My stop is right above. I give back $200. No puncture, no puncture, no puncture, no puncture. This at 151 is a loss. Let's keep it honest, right? This one was a loss at lunchtime. Still lunchtime. That was a loss. It closes under the moving average at 1252. Still lunchtime. That's a win. This one is a loss. We'll put the wins back up here. And then we get right back into it. So in lunchtime, you had 2 losses and 1 winner. And then you had a loss, and 1, 2, 3, 4. If you traded at the close and you got in after market, there was another $400 for you there. This is crazy, right? This is 100% crazy. Any questions at this point? Because it wasn't just today. Can you guys see what was happening in the overnight session? 1.5 ATR. Daryl, did this work overnight when we were sleeping in the great old states of America? Was it working in the London session, in the Globex session? What happened at 5:17? What happened at 5:38? What happened at 4:47 and 4:23? What happened at 3:05 in the Asian session? What happened at 3:23? Ball of the computer calculates what the ATR is at that candle and adds 50%. So that was in the overnight session. This was while we were eating dinner in the United States. If you get home from work and you don't have time to trade during the day, ready? Long at 9:24, exit by 9:40. Long at 9:54, exit by 10:05. Long at 10:10, exit by 10:19. Long at 10:30-ish, out by 10:33. Puncture, small loss. Long at 10:51. Honey, are you coming to bed? Hang on, I'm making the money over here. I'm making the money. That was Mario from Super Mario Brothers. I'm making the money. And then this one shoots up. Let's assume we get to break even right there. And then right before dinner, right before midnight, you give back $5. It's working. When you're watching Netflix, here's yesterday after the close. Here's yesterday during the market open. So Tawana, completely different setup, right? Let's look at it. This is the morning yesterday. I took a short at 6:54 yesterday and I got out around here. I put it on my Facebook page. If you haven't already done so, follow us on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel to get updates and keys, insights into markets as they're happening real time. So short at 7:49, we hit the stop. Short at 807, we hit the stop. Short at 836, we hit the stop. White dot closes over the moving average. We're long, out at 906. Long at 914, out at 918, quarter tick. Long at 940 yesterday, up until 950. Ian, it's a $50 move. I'm rounding up. Minus 10, minus 13, plus 5, plus minus a quarter, plus 48. Long at 953, out at 1002, plus 15. What is happening? Yesterday, long at 1006, out by 1017. Long at 1025, small loss, out by 1031. Long at 1038, out by 1044. Do you see how it's the same thing as today? Instead of going down, we were going up. Fun fact. No matter how many times I show this to people over the last almost 15 years, 50 plus webinars a year, no matter how much proof, no matter how many testimonials, no matter how profitable the signals are 2 days later, week after week after week after week, only 5% of you sign up. Only 5% of you sign up. Only 5% of the Tawanas and the Jeffries and the Rajeshes, they come back week after week. Well, what about this? And what about that? Well, what if I have eggs for breakfast? And there's this part of people in their core, it can smell they're about to be successful. It can smell and sniff out, we're going to have all our bills paid. Well, I don't like that at all. That's different. What if we start losing weight and having friends and then we have to go out at night and talk to people? Oh, it's much easier to feel sad and sit on the couch and watch The Circle on Netflix or that Harry Potter movie we love. Yeah, don't buy this. Keep doing what you're doing. Woohoo! Losing's not so bad. Everybody loses. Don't you want to be like everybody? I'm telling you why people don't sign up. I know exactly why. I've asked psychologists. I've asked people that I've asked therapists that I've worked with. Hey, how come of this? And they all say the same thing. Self-sabotage. If you were profitable, your life would change. Every part of the human psyche is hardwired against change. A few years ago, almost 6 to the day, someone sent me a video about guys who crossed the country on motorcycles. Not just any motorcycles. They're called adventure motorcycles. And these bikes are designed to work on-road and off-road. They're called 50/50 motorcycles. And there is a guy who crossed the country and I can't find the original trail, the one we took. But this guy went out on his motorcycle with a GPS and he recorded all of these roads that were dirt roads and country trails and little 2-lane roads as far from a highway as he could. And you could stop and camp on the side. And Abraham, I saw this and God, oh, I wanted to do it. I do what people do sitting in this webinar. I saw pictures like that and I said, oh, I want to go there. And for a year, I didn't do anything about it. I just sat there and I felt sad. And then I started taking small steps. I got a moped that looked like a motorcycle. It was a bike with a moped engine on it. Let me see if I can show it to you. I'm a little off track. See that bike right there? I got it. Cost me a few $1,000s. I sold it to a guy who looked like Bill Gates from Microsoft. He had an $80,000 off-road Toyota 4Runner. He wanted the back of his truck to look cool, and I sold him my bike. And then my wife, for my birthday, bought me a Kawasaki on-road, off-road motorcycle. And I practiced on it, and I practiced on it. And every time I felt like I'm not supposed to do this, you're going to fail, you're going to suck, I kept going out and doing things and taking little steps. And then I became the guy in the photo. I went to that place in the picture, Abraham, and I was at the bottom of the picture. And then I was up here 4 hours later in 110-degree heat on a road that was about 5 feet wide with Jeeps coming down the other side. That's me. And what I've learned is the thing that scares me the most is the thing I have to do. We're put here to learn and experience new things and to be successful. And every other message in society, everything we hear from the moment we wake up and go to sleep is telling us otherwise. It's an unattainable level of beauty, an unattainable level of success. If I hear the word side hustle one more time on YouTube, I can't wait till they put all the YouTube side hustlers in a jail and ask them, were you really making money or were you making money with the videos? See how I work 2 hours a day putting artificially intelligent NTFs on a website. Ah, liar. We can't. There's no way we can do it. So why even try? And Ian, that's why people don't buy the software. But 5% of you are sitting there looking at that motorcycle picture and you're saying, I get it. I want to do the thing. I will take a small step in that direction. If you found me from a Facebook trading group that I'm a member of for the E-mini S&P, I have been posting 60-minute signals on various E-mini S&P Facebook groups. This is a diagram from one of my 60-minute charts on the Facebook groups I'm a member of for the S&P. The close of the candle today was right here, 10 o'clock today. This ends tomorrow at 1 a.m. Eastern time. The previous sell was at 5 o'clock, August 23rd. There was a sell before that, a pattern 5, Rajesh, at 8 o'clock on the 22nd. The next sell is coming at 4 o'clock tomorrow into the open on Monday. The market doesn't care if you're nervous, Bala. The market doesn't care how you feel. No one at JP Morgan goes, hold on, guys, stop a minute. Hang on. I think Bala's nervous. Let's give him some confirmation here. We're a little far from the moving average, and I feel like he's nervous right now. No, don't trip his stops out. Let him get comfortable. Like no one ever says that. So Ian, on this chart, the settings are same as the indicator, default, 714, swing strength 8. And it's just tramping along, la, la, la. Just keep going, just keep swimming. In NVIDIA today, we've been long since August 4th. NVIDIA will continue to rise until September 14th. I have a chart. I'm going to pull it up. I did a study on it. I don't want to rebuild it while we're here. I did the same study on Bitcoin. On the daily chart, same settings, Ian. Bitcoin is long and from August 19th until August 28th. Next buy signal is September 13th on the daily chart. You could have bought Bitcoin the first week of March. You could have bought it April 1st. You could have bought it May 14th. You could have bought it June 5th. You could have sold it on July 13th. You could have sold it on July 26th and cashed out your futures by August 19th. Same settings, Ian, 714, swing strength 8. This works on forex too. If we open a new chart, new chart, EUR USD on a 60-minute time frame, it's the same. There is no market that is more or less accurate. There is no market that or time frame that is more or less accurate. It is the same. And if we come and load the indicator and ask it, when does the bus come in the morning? When does it leave? When does the UPS driver get here? When does he disappear? You tell me, is the euro US dollar a random market? I'm using the same settings from the charts I sent you 2 days ago. The computer can't curve fit them. It's looking at the time cycles and saying, when should I be looking to buy the euro? When should I be looking to sell the euro? This is a 60-minute euro US dollar chart with the warp program. And people lose their lives, their life savings. Forex traders are some of the weirdest people I've ever met. Guy'll call me, Mike, I wish I could afford your software. I'm using MetaTrader 6, 4, MetaTrader 9, whatever number it is. How much do you have in your account? Oh, I got a $50 account. Forex trading for most people is like that little computer sweepstakes building in the States. And you see these people drive up to it from trailer parks with their check they just cashed on the way home from work, sitting in front of a computer trying to forget their lives for a minute. It's most of the time. But it didn't have to be that way. This is more liquid than the S&P and all the other futures markets combined, and the banks continue to drive up and down. So we can use this on stocks, we can use it on crypto, we can use it on futures markets, we can use it on commodities. Wheat right now with the situation in Ukraine, oil is off the charts accurate. Same accuracy, about 60 to 70% of the time. And so when we're in a downtrend, when we're in an uptrend, you'll know what time to get in. You'll know what direction and for how long. Your stops are smaller, your targets are larger. That by itself, if you just looked at the trades you were about to get in and says, my zero lag Kumasayama indicator, my super nav pivot indicator says to get long right now. What does the time say? It says short, don't trade. Just wait. Okay. If all you do is use it as a filter for your existing system, if you use a higher time frame as your filter for trend trades, I'm only taking shorts because there's a blue dot on the 60. You will do better than you're doing now. If all you do is keep to the appointments every morning, there are 10 trades you could possibly take. Some of you take 30, 40, 50, 60, $5 a round turn. Your broker loves you. Your spouse doesn't when she sees the statement. When he sees the statement at the end of the month, if you're still not hiding it from them, you trade less, you stay in your winners longer, you get out of your losers faster. You beat the apex trading algorithm, that ever looming trail stop underneath you that's waiting for you to touch it, so you have to reset again. It's waiting for you. Go ahead, let your loser run. Get in the wrong direction again. I love it when you overtrade. Reset. There's another $200. Any questions about this or any of the other markets we've gone over? Tawana, anything? Jeffrey, anything? Anybody that I forgot to mention? Harry? I'm looking for new names here. Everybody's quiet. They're like, I know he told us all of it in advance. I know I saw it all in advance. I still feel like he's lying. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Anyway, let me tell you how you can get the tool, because a few of you here are ready to move forward and start working towards your motorcycle trip. And I want to tell you that story because I've been there before. I want to tell you that story because I've been there before. I know what it's like to sit and not be successful at the thing. I weigh too much. I'm not in shape enough. I've never done this before. Everyone tells me it's dangerous. There's two types of motorcycle riders, ones who are dead and ones who are not dead yet. I heard all of it. It was hard. And then I'm sitting there on the road, and I'm in the middle of Colorado, and I'm at the top of a mountain. I'm riding along the salt flats in Salt Lake City on a 175-mile stretch of 100-degree heat. I'm standing next to the ramp where Evel Knievel literally tried to jump over the Snake River in his rocket. That happened right there. We find an obscure factory in the middle of nowhere that built the solid fuel rocket boosters for the space shuttle. We're finding these weird stalactite-looking things in the middle of Utah. We found an Airbnb 2 days before a giant rainstorm put 4 inches of water on the salt flats. A 200-year storm, waiting it out. We met a 75-year-old guy who's a retired farmer. He lives in a single-wide trailer, and he tries to date and get older women into his trailer with him because he still feels like a 20-year-old. He spent a total of $2,000 on his entire rig, and he bought lunch and dinner from the Dollar General store. We stayed in a 200-year-old hotel built in a town called Silverton, Colorado, a mining town long since extinct. I got all the way up, nearly 13,000 feet, with my Super Rocket Man helmet, and felt like I was going to die coming down the other side as the rainstorms descended upon me. I understand what it means to sit there and say, I don't think I can do this. But when you're standing there with your best friend and your pot belly and your baggy pants and your broken fly zipper, you do it. You got to do it. Now, if you want to do it, here's how. You're going to go to my website, like thousands of other traders before you have. You're going to go to the product store. You're going to click on the link where it says TachEon Warp. TachEon is a word I came up with. It's a split between two words, TachEon with a Y and eon. Tachyon is a theoretical particle that moves backwards and forwards in time. Eon describes an endless age. Our software moves backwards and forwards in time endlessly with Warp, our flagship product, the one everybody starts with. At the bottom of the Warp page is a giant Willy Wonka colored ticket where it says buy now. Marketers told me the color orange, it inspires confidence and action. So I made it an orange button just for you. When you click on that button, you will see something pop up that describes a live class for our traders. Meets once, three times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Whether it's my trading partner and best friend, Ron, or Colin, they run the room and they show entries and exits using the timing software. It's $149 a month. You can cancel. And if that's the way you learn, you want somebody sitting there saying, get in, get out, here's where we're going, here's why. You can use that as a learning aid moving forward. It's 25% off if you get it when you sign up. I think you should get a month or two just to get your feet wet. But if that's not for you, go to the checkout without the pro training room. You're going to agree to the terms and the conditions. And then there's a place you can put a promo code. WARPOFF. 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 All one word, all lowercase, no spaces. Warp off. Tawana, warp off. Jeffrey, Rajesh, warp off takes $500 off the price. You can go through PayPal, try to go through their credit program. Sometimes they'll give you 6 months to pay it back, no interest. Otherwise, if you just want to use a credit card, you can go check out. If you need to do a wire transfer, we can accept those too. You just got to let me know in an email. This comes with 2 computer licenses. It's an indicator for Ninjatrader. It's a lifetime update, so there are no additional fees or charges. If you need to change your computer, you simply change the computer ID, let us know. We'll move one of your licenses over to a new computer, no problem. There is a video training archive with everything from 10 to 15 minute introductory basic setup videos to more advanced lessons. We've been accumulating those for 15 years. And so there's no question you could possibly have that isn't answered in the video training archive. We have been around for close to 15 years. We have nearly 5,000 customers now in every major market around the world, trading every instrument you could think of. The accuracy is the same on all of them. You're trading the FTSE or the Bund, no problem. You're trading the Asian stocks, the Hang Seng, not a problem. You're trading the South African Stock Exchange or Canadian stocks or whatever you're doing. Cryptos, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, wheat, corn, soybeans, soy meal, oil, gold, palladium. It works on all of those things. 5,000 customers. When they rate us, we get somewhere between a 4 or a 5-star review on Trustpilot, who verifies these are actual traders with actual receipts that actually purchased the software. We have not written one review on my children's life. Everything you see there is what they wrote. Real people who sat in a webinar like you. 2 days ago, I gave you the times. 2 days later, we came back together. In every one of the markets across the 2 days that I've analyzed so far, the most popular ones, man, it's $2,000 to $3,000 in one day. I don't know what else to do. Dave likes to joke. I turn the water into wine, I fill the lake with the wine, and then I walk on it. And still, some people are sitting here and they're saying, meh, I'm still not convinced. I'm sorry. I tried. But I know that we're better than 98% of the garbage that you're bombarded with every day. The reason you have 2 email addresses, the reason you don't answer the phone when you think it's a trading company and some college kid trying to get you to buy. I know. I lost $50,000 in 36 hours in one trade. I was prepared to quit my job of 15 years. I had 2 young kids, a wife, 3 kids. Still had the wife on my calendar 2 weeks after that day. It had an appointment with my boss to quit my job. Whole world blew up. Man, I was so close to making the worst mistake of my life. Trading does that. That's why I've taken Herculean efforts to prove to you, Tawana, Jeffrey, Rajesh, everyone else who's here who's wondering, is this it? I don't know what else I can show you to prove to you that what we found is real. Everything else you've seen is garbage. Every video that they send you is fake. Very few. 90% of traders lose 90% of their account in 90 days. That's the number. It's real. It was real 10 years ago. It's still real. Everyone else is usually a well-oiled marketing machine. I don't know much about marketing, but I know everything there is to know about timing. And if that's something you'd like to learn from me, I am happy to bring you on board. For those of you that are existing customers, I love the poop out of you. I think you're incredible. Thank you for your support over the years. Thank you for coming to the webinars. I hope you learned something. I try to show something a little new each week. Please make sure you're a member of our Skype group. We have a group of traders using this software who interact with each other and teach each other things and share stuff on a Skype community board. They talk about their experiences getting funded accounts with Apex Investing, what they did, what methods work for them, what markets work for them. If you're not a part of that group, please email Rachel or I will tell you how to get in there so you can interact with each other and increase your chances of success even more. Do not forget to subscribe to our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We have an Instagram now. We have a Twitter feed. We are global and growing every day. People want to know, how did you know the market was going to go up? How did you know the market was going to go down? Yesterday in oil in my live room, we had a trade on CL. Whoop, let me open it here. I'll show you this before we go. Open with, how do I do this? Open with, for the crude oil inventory report, we had a signal at 10:30 yesterday. We bought it at the close of this candle and it went up almost 50 points right away. And we locked in 30 of them before we canceled out. A $300 move at an oil inventory report that no one was supposed to know what direction it would go up or down. If you're not a member of my room, please reach out to me via email. I'll tell you how to get started. But for those of you that are customers, just thanks. Thank you for your help. Thank you, Daryl. Daryl, I remember when you found us on Facebook. I'm so happy you're doing great. Now, may the wind be at your back. May the sun shine on your beautiful, handsome faces. May the mountains of adversity lay low before you. May the valleys, the obstacles, the things in your path, both the ones placed there and the ones put there by you, may the valley rise up to meet you on your way as we go forward into the week, into the weekend. I wish you peace. I wish you health, time with loved ones, time doing the things you love. Make the most of every second we have above earth, because time is ultimately the most precious commodity traded today. When you use our program, you'll have more of it to do the things you want to do, not enslaved or chained to a computer terminal all morning, all day, all evening. That is ultimately what I wish for all of you here. More time living your life. I love you all. Video will be uploaded to YouTube tonight. Watch for the recording on our YouTube channel, and we'll see you all here next week. Welcome on board, Tawana, Jeffrey, Rajesh. I hope you can sign up today. I look forward to meeting you and working with you on the other side. Have a great one. Bye-bye.